This is another example of completing the operating activities section of the statement of cash flows using the indirect method. So you have a series of information up here that we're going to need to include. It has our net income. It tells us that we have some depreciation expense and some amortization expense. So those two items will be added back into the net income. And then it tells us about our changes in our current assets and current liabilities. So remember from the chart in your book that increases in assets will be subtracted out and decreases in assets will be added in. And then current liabilities are just the opposite of that. Increases in current liabilities will be added in, where decreases in current liabilities will be subtracted out. So the first thing we do is we start with our net income. So for our schedule of cash flows from operating activities, we have our net income in there in the amount of $41,000. Then the next item we look at, do we have any depreciation, amortization, or depletion? And we do in this example. We actually have depreciation in the amount of $2,300, so it will be added in. And then we have amortization in the amount of $300 that will also be added back in. We don't have any gains or losses, which would go next. So now we're going to look at our changes in current assets and current liabilities. So changes in current assets and current liabilities, we always start with our current assets. We have an increase in accounts receivable, so that is subtracted out. We have a decrease in inventory, so that is added back in. We have a decrease in prepaid expenses, which is an asset, so that is added back in. And that brings us to our current liabilities. Our accounts payable increased by $5,000 from one year to the next, so that is added in. Our accrued liabilities decreased, however, so we subtract that amount out. And then when we calculate all of those changes in the first column, we come up with a net increase of $5,850 that is added to our net income, which gives us net cash flows from operating activities for a total of $46,850.